What's up, you ILUS Army, CYBL Army, and moneymakers? Welcome back to the channel. I want to cover two of our favorite stock on this channel today while we are into the macro trend deep into the stock market. It's not just the deep into the stock market, but we have seen the downtrend into the crypto market because of some of the uncertainty, fear and doubt, or the FUD into the market. That also includes some of the rate hikes, bond tapering, some of the situation that is going on with the pandemic and the health situation, and the way the businesses are booking their earnings. So let's talk about ILUS. Particularly in ILUS, we want to take a look at certain price level or the price support that it has broke, and it is right now into the red zone. Same for CYBL. I want to talk about whether it has potential to do 2x from this price point for both ILUS and CYBL. There's a potential for 2x, but there are certain catalysts, especially with the overall market, that you want to look into. We'll also talk about what ILUS is up to, how they're getting uplisted on NASDAQ. We'll talk about the revenue and the 50 to 80% shares that they're going to have into this massive spin-offs that they have planned for. For Cyberlux, we'll talk about the latest acquisition for their technology company, platform as a service and software as a service. So some of the great and juicy and important information. We'll look into the chart for both ILUS and CYBL because I want to show you the trend line and some of the price support that both the stocks have broken. That also means if someone has the buying strategy, that could work as well. If someone wants to hold and sell, this is not a video or the advice for buy or sell. This is rather my analysis and research I want to share with you. So in return, I want to ask you if you can hit that little like button on this video. That will be super helpful. If you can subscribe to the channel, that will be very much appreciated. Both like and subscribe mean a world to me. So hit that like, hit the subscribe. If you're feeling extra happy, join the Patreon. It's $4.99 a month. We have private Discord and the link is in the description below. We'll also talk about some major catalysts for both ILUS and CYBL, but you want to remember that we are right now into the macro trend of deep into the stock market. Now, we want to see how far it can go onto the deep, because right now market is confused in a way, but it's more on the deep side. And until we get some of the turbulence settle down in terms of the bond tapering, in terms of the rate hikes, we want to get some more guidance from the Fed on potential situations that we are seeing around the inflation. So we want to learn more about that as well. Now, this does not really directly impact this PennyStocks or OTC stocks, but all in all, it impacts the stock market, and ILUS and CYBL are not really exception when the stock market entirely goes down. Now, you want to, in addition to that, you also want to consider that both these stocks are OTC stocks. For OTC stocks in general, for PennyStocks, we started seeing the lower volume. If you take a look for ILUS, we are up right now 2.70%. Now, there is a great potential that it can hit 40 cents. So it is 2x from this price point. On the top of that, they're also doing some spin-off, and they want to retain 50 to 80% of their stake into each spin-off. The shareholders are going to get benefit out of it as well, and they will be also have some stocks, and I don't know the details. We don't really know the details just yet, but they can also have the skin in the game with the stocks that they're getting that is uplisting on NASDAQ. So let's take a look. For 5 days, the stock is down to almost 30%. For 1 month, the stock is down 33%. For 6 months, the stock is up 3x, which means $1,000 turned into $3,120. Now, if you take a look what ILUS is up to, once again, a strong community, almost 17,000 Twitter followers, as you see. They're also finalizing the signed document for the very important deal, and the PR, the press release, will be very soon announced. Before that, they also announced some of the key initiatives into the shareholder meeting. Namely, they are summarizing the highlight for 2022 into the annual shareholder meeting. What they're up to, they are having already completed several transactions. They did not really have any presence in the United States, but now they have multiple companies. They got their foot into the door very strong, and they have many more in short, in the medium and the long term. ILUS itself is acquiring and growing companies, so in a way it's a merger and acquisition company, which is grouping all companies that they're acquiring strategically and technologically aligned division. ILUS aims to become this particular holding company with several successful spin-offs that could itself uplist on NASDAQ. So they might have multiple NASDAQ uplisting. Most importantly, if you own ILUS stock, you want to really know that ILUS plans to hold 50 to 80% share within each uplisted companies. That will substantially increase company's value. That will also gain a ton of momentum for their shareholders as well, and they'll bring back money home. What I really am interested in learning is when ILUS becomes $100 million company with all these acquisitions, what will they take home in terms of the profitability? Revenue is great. We have historically seen that ILUS is doing very good in terms of the profit margin. They have done more than $6.5 million revenue by the end of Q3, and they have exceeded their own expectations in Q4 and for the entire 2021. We have also seen that the company started with $500,000 in revenue and OTC stock that we haven't seen for much OTC stock with this such a great momentum that run up from $500,000 in revenue to $6.5 million within a few quarters, 2 or 3 quarters. Not only that, their ambition is to become a $100 million revenue company, which is profitable and have multiple uplisting through the spin-offs. Now, let's take a look at this article. That says ILUS division mentioned during the shareholder meeting that emergency response integrated systems, renewable and defense. This company plans to upcoming emergency response business into emergency response technologies, which is ERT, that is including $100 million plus in revenue acquisition, which when combined, the company intends to having approximately valuation of $500 million US. This division has potential to become ILUS's first planned spin-off. And not only that, ERT would also include manufacturing and distribution, patented firefighting technology, disruptive technology such as wearable technology, IoT, Internet of Technology as well, robotics, automation, rescue drones, rapid responses, incident management system. I want to also call out that ILUS is also getting into the metaverse industry, and they want to take the advantage of the unmanned drone systems as well, especially for the fire safety and address some of the security concerns. ILUS is executing on the plan with the current acquisition partnership and acquisition with their concluding or conducting due diligence on at the moment. They have astronomical European deal that will be getting more information very soon, but they want to do 8 million. They will be doing rather $8 million US in revenue in 2022, followed by exponential growth into the phase 2 and so on. ILUS confirmed that it does not plan on taking any division such as ERT to NASDAQ without substantial revenue, and hence the $100 million plus acquisition, which would place in conjunction with the uplisting. So there are massive plans coming up for ILUS. This is what I want to get into. If you take a look what the stock is doing right now, they're up tiny bit, 3 or 4%, but we have seen substantial downside in ILUS. Take a look. We were in 30s. We got back into the 25 cents zone, and today and yesterday we saw this 20 cents, which is a bit 21 cents rather, which is a bit concerning, and we saw actually 20 cents today on February 3rd, which is a bit concerning. Now, what you want to rather look into is whether this is a buying opportunity, especially when the spin-offs are going to happen. It is a little bit challenging for me to gauge how it's going to work out in terms of spin-off and what will be the shareholder value, whether they will be getting dividends out of it, whether they'll be getting some of the stocks due to the spin-off based on the number of ILUS shares that they have. But these are all up in the air, and you want to consider that it is hard, but it's definitely a great and exciting moment that someone can get into, especially at 20 cents. If the volume spikes up, I do believe that it can hit 30 cents just in no time. We were at 35 cents just before 10 to 15 days. 35 cents on January 20th. We saw 18 million in volume. We yesterday still saw very similar volume, 18, 19 million in volume with 24 cents. And you see that what we did in the past is it didn't take too much time for ILUS to go to 41 cents, 38 cents, so on and so forth in early December, and the trend continued and we dipped into the price point. Now, this price action is just not only for ILUS, but it's an entire market. But what you want to consider in terms of this chart that I wanted to share with you is our RSI is looking pretty okay to me. 60, not a stunning RSI at the moment, which means the stock can dip a little bit into the very short term period, which is today's trading session. The MACD is not super exciting to me as well, but this is the case for many penny stocks, many OTC stocks. But most importantly, you want to see that ILUS went to 18.5 cents, which is it dropped below the support level that I was considering for myself of 22 to 23 cents. Right after it dropped there, it dropped pretty quickly to 19 cents from 22 cents, which is a pretty big dip. Regardless of the market going down, ILUS went down significantly. If you take a look, and if I show you further this chart for last 1 month, you should be able to see how down we dipped. So right here, before that we saw this 22 and 90, and that was a great support, and it did not really cross or go below that price point for a long period of time. So that's what you want to consider pretty substantially the way ILUS has been doing. And we saw that a staircase or stair steps the way we went down. Now if you take a look at 6 months, you should be able to see how we are doing. And when we went to that price point 32 cents, we broke that, we went to 22 or 27 cents, we broke that, and we broke 22 and 90. So 23 cents right now, we're at 20 cents. So what I'm interested in learning, if this starts dropping and if the market is red, it can once again go to 18 cents as you see. So 18 cents right here, we saw that in the month before 3 or 4 months in 2021 on 15th, you see right here, 15th of September. And right after that, we spiked all the way to all-time high. So if we go to 18 cents, which is once again another support level, so we can drop as low as 18 cents to hit the support level. I just wanted to clearly let you know as to what can happen. In terms of CYBL, let's move. I want to shift a gear a little bit to CYBL because there is a pretty substantial work has been done in terms of acquisition that adds more revenue. So this was announced just before 18 hours as you see on my screen. By the way, CYBL is also a growing community with almost 10,000 followers on their Twitter account. If you take a look what CYBL is up to, they're also doing bigger, better things. And I wanted to quickly share their latest acquisition. So CYBL announces, it was yesterday, the latest acquisition of Digital Automation Solution LLC to launch and transform its software unit into the digital platform. Now, they work with Department of Defense and other commercial clients that they have at the moment with LED lighting and some of the innovative stuff that they're doing around that business segment. Now, what they're doing in terms of this acquisition, which will provide the platform technology provider, and they will drive companies PaaS, which is platform as a service, and SaaS, that is software as a service strategy to accelerate global expansion, which is in my opinion pretty significant because with this acquisition, Cyberlux is transforming the former infrastructure software solution, so ISS business unit, into the new digital platform solution or DPS business unit, which their expanded mission is to drive both end-to-end PaaS and SaaS offering, as I just mentioned, that is required by the global government, military, and commercial customer. They already have these relationships that they want to take the advantage of in terms of the revenue, and they want to provide the top-notch service to their existing clients, and that is guaranteed revenue. When you talk to DoD, Department of Defense, the money is not going to go anywhere. That's a guaranteed return on the investment that you put in terms of their inventory, their skills, and their services and their support. With this new DPS unit that will provide holistic approach with delivering the digital capabilities around the targeted customers, not only in Department of Defense and government agencies, but also with the enterprise and commercial clients that they have, helping automate the process, enhancing the digital experience, and accelerating new product and the services, time to market, evolving their business models. And as a result of this acquisition, this is the super juicy part that I want to share with you. They will own 100% of Digital Automated Solutions LLC. I want to go into their revenue part, which is excites me as well, with the valuation which is expected for this acquisition between 9 cents and 29 cents, with cash component being paid out over 2 years of investment cycle. So this deal has been designed with pretty strategic value, including certain equity incentives for continued revenue growth levels as well, technology and intellectual property development milestone. They want to have global customer acquisition with the objectives in mind and global solution implementation milestone. This particular company brings to Cyberlux new digital platform technology, existing customers, and incremental value as a result. Most importantly, this DPS, this now new formed DPS unit or digital platform solution business unit, will deliver an expected annualized revenue of $17 million with an expected growth of $55 million by 2024. Now, this is not the revenue growth just for the company that they have acquired, but this is the revenue growth or the expected revenue for this newly formed platform. Now, I don't really know how much revenue will be added by this particular acquisition, but all in all, this new business unit will be adding up to $17 million expected revenue this year, and with the growth in mind of $55 million in revenue, which is, once again, it's a great thing. We want to see the profitability as well. But if you take a look what this particular stock is doing right now, it is up 20%, 1.5 cents, and which is what I precisely talk about. When there is a dip, you probably don't know how much the stock can dip, but when there is an upward trajectory or momentum comes back, if the stock outperforms with any other stock into the market, as an example ILUS or CYBL, once again, they're pretty low valued stock with massive potential that can exponentially grow 2x, 3x, 4x, and with that you can gain a return on the investment, whether you are doing swing trades or whether you're buying the dip or you are acquiring more and more stocks. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not a financial advice, so you want to do your own due diligence, because these are pretty risk versus reward kind of a situation. You can make a ton of money, 2x, 3x, 5x, but on the flip side, you can lose 50-70% of your hard-earned money. So don't invest your entire portfolio, do your own due diligence, and don't be greedy. When the market is greedy, you want to be fearful. When the market is fearful, you want to be greedy, and that's the rule of thumb that you want to follow. If you take a look at ILUS, once again, deficiency around the volume. Yesterday we saw 47 million. That was the volume against their average volume of 55.6 million. So in my opinion, if they ramp up on their volume, will be a win-win deal for both ILUS and CYBL. We have seen very similar situation. In terms of the price point, take a look, very similar situation what we saw for ILUS, similar for CYBL, and the stock price was around 3 cents. We started dropping down. We went cut in half, more than cut in half, 0.013. Right now we're back to 0.015, and it is very much in discount, 50% discount, because we did see 3 cents, almost 3 cents just before a few days. Take a look, December 28th, we are almost 3 cents, 0.0293. And right after that, we started dropping. Rather, we were 319 just on January 4th. It is 1 month in, and we cut in half, more than cut in half. So that could be, once again, a great opportunity. But given that the cycle, the macro trend, right now we are in the deep, that needs to convert into, once again, at least if not positive momentum, but in the neutral momentum. And some of these OTC stocks, in my opinion, will double from the price point that we see at the moment. Because, well, while there is a sine wave, right now we are in the cosine wave and into the deeping end, and the graph is like this, that goes down. Now, once we start getting into the sine wave in the upward trajectory, some of the stocks will outperform, will go up 50, 60, 70% day by day, and we will be seeing the one stock that we were seeing cut in half will get back to its normal price level that we have seen in the past, 3 cents, 4 cents, which will at that point will be double or triple of the price point that we see at the moment, which is where the opportunity is. Very similar situation. I just showed you the graph for ILUS. For CYBL, this is the CYBL graph. Take a look, 148, very similar graph. We did drop significantly. Our RSI is once again 63, very similar RSI. Once again, these are two different stocks, but I just wanted to compare very similar RSI that we saw for now. This RSI changed, of course, because this is a different parameter, but we saw that 66 was the RSI as well, 62 or 66 was the RSI as well for ILUS, and that is very similar for CYBL. While we're at 125, 145, and right now we are in 15. If you take a look for 6 months, this particular chart, we got back. So we were at this 0.026. That was a pretty strong resistance. Take a look. We went to 0.02, so 2 cents, got back up. We got back almost down, got a very strong support, got back up to 3 cents. We got back down and we had a pretty strong support, but with the latest red days into the market, we broke this support level. We got back down 1.5 cents. Not only that, 0.0145. Now we can go as low as this price point, 0.0133. If we break this level, we can go pretty close to 1 cent. So keep that in mind. But you want to also think about when the market rebounds, what stocks or which stocks will outperform or that will do over exceed the expectations. With that, this is a little bit longer video, but hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.